Hello my lovelies. Today I would like to do some work in one of my medium-sized journals. This is one you haven't seen before. I'll just move these aside so that I can show you what I've done thus far in this book. Now I've shown you this pretty quilt cover before, so that's nothing new to you. So I've just used papers that I've had in my stash. These are from a new sticker collection that I've got, and it is from Stamperia, and this is the Create Happiness, part of the Create Happiness range with the birds and the wheelbarrow. So I just discovered these beautiful, and they're stickers, absolutely beautiful. So that is a cut apart thing that I had from yonks ago that I've used, and these you may remember me putting into like grab a stick project where I listed 4 things and you had to choose a number and then do what the number said. But I decided that I wasn't going to use them, so I've cut them apart and put them into this book with some extra bits and pieces to make them look pretty. Now that's one of those other things that I had. Now this is an Edith Holden page. Now these pretty little flowers, let me just turn a book upside down for a minute, or up the right way. Or it just says they're rushes. So, but they remind me very much of nerines. They are the Easter bulbs that come up with the bright pink little spider type flowers, and the flowers come up first and then the greenery comes up afterwards. Absolutely stunning, and I've got a gorgeous pot of them outside and these just reminded me of that, so that's what I've written there. There's another one of those CD covers, and I've put this little strip of bits and pieces that I can either leave or put on, and an altered clip. Oh, I've just torn the page. I'll have to reinforce that with some washi. Okay, now this is another CD cover, and I've done the same type of thing here, but I've adhered it to the actual page. This one is a pull-out journaling page. I've written something up there, but it doesn't matter what. This is a double page from Edith Holden that I could not bear to cut in halves. I just love the entire page, so I've made that into the center of this particular signature so that it doesn't, 1, it tidies up the signature, and 2, I just don't lose any of that page. It's beautiful. And I've just added a couple of pieces of washi tape in the blank space. Now this is also from that ephemera pack. This is an envelope window that I've dressed up and made into a journaling spot. I did some stenciling on the back of the page, a brick fence and a butterfly, and that one just sits in there. Now for today's project that I'm going to put on this page, I've used a different ephemera pack. It's still by Stamperia, and it's called Our Way. So as you can see, it's fairly empty because I have denuded it. I have used it. So let's turn this up the right way and get to work. It's the right way for me. It's upside down for you, and I'm very sorry about that. Now get my trusty phone out, because I did a layout last night, and hopefully it will turn out looking like that. So put my phone up there. The page is down. I've used a ledger page from the old book that I've got, and I also used the Kaisercraft wood grain stamp just to cover it all over and give it some background, because it looked pretty darn bare. I did have writing on there, but I'd used it as a tidy up page, so I didn't want to put that page up facing me. Double-sided tape is wonderful stuff. And this paper is so fine that if I used glue on it, it would bubble. I've tried using glue on it before, and it just bubbles through, and it looks terrible. So double-sided tape is the way to go. And I'm going to put the page upside down with a cutout at the top. Not for any particular reason, but I just want to. Okay, now the film strip comes next. Now this is my only problem with these stickers, is it takes me a little while to get the backing sheet up. No, that's not going to work. It's going to bring the whole paper up. Start in another corner. There we go. Beautiful. I love having things planned out and photograph taken on my phone, because it really just helps me to be organized, especially when I'm on camera, because I fiddle, I know I do, but I don't like to have a non-plan, because I get myself lost if I don't plan things, and I end up just talking gibberish. Tweezer. On the tripod. This is going to be fiddly because it's got skinny little legs. Look at those. If I can get this onto the page, I will be very happy if I don't break one of the tripods. It wants to come up, but it's just determined not to. One corner fails, you can always go to another, or section the picture that you or the sticker that you want. Yes. And we're off and running. Ha! Absolutely wonderful. Now I know I've got a little bit of a scribble down the bottom, but that's okay. I was trying out a pen to make sure it had some ink in it before I did something. But that is going to be covered up by a little leaf. Wherefore art thou? And it is little. Look at it. Tiny little thing. It's not even as big as my finger. It's so small. Just determined not to come up. Oh, come now. It really is trying my patience. Gotcha. There. Now, this is a little paper I had in my stash, and I wanted to use it somewhere, and it just looks so pretty on here. Could actually do with a little bit of browning, couldn't it? Because it just looks a little bit too stark white. Down. Just enough to take the brightness of the white background away. I don't want it to be swamped. This is just a rough coverage. I'm not going to go over it and over and over it until I get the right depth, because there is no such thing as the right depth for me in this particular project. It's a case of that will do, because it is going to have a frame over it. Where's that book page? tell it to stay and it falls down in a massive heap of backing strips, but that's okay. Now I've got a frame that I want to put around it as well, so I'm just going to place them both together, but I will be able to lift the frame. That one has to be glued on. I don't have enough of my regular thin double-sided tape available at the moment. Now that's got a little ridge on it there, so that goes up. A little bit of Alene Super Tacky glue. I love that stuff. Okay. Now another little sticker. Okay, I should have had that down a little bit down here, I think. But it's alright, it'll still work for me the way I want to do it, I think. I hope. It just means I'll have to work this out here instead of upwards, but that's okay too. I do not have an issue with slight alterations in my plan. There, and a little stamp. I love replica stamps because they're vintage and they look stunning and almost like the real thing. As a child, I remember collecting that particular stamp. So, you know, it brings back little memories for me that way too. The 1 penny green. Okay. Now, a couple of little leaves go up the top. Okay, now the big flower. I want that about there, I think. Yep. This is coming in very nicely. One thing I haven't chosen is a little clip or a saying to go on this one, so we'll have to do that one together. I'm sorry. It's going to have to be just that way. I think I'll put this one straight on. I was going to have this going up there, but because I've mucked up a little bit down here and I've got a lot of space down there, I can afford to do that. Yes. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I've got all little edges. The last couple came up very quickly. This one is not going to play as fast, I don't think. Might make a fibber out of me too. Yeah, it is. Hooray! I don't mind that at all. Now, that can go there. And the other little penny stamp can sit up here. Don't you love it when a plan does not come into play? You things were going so well. I should have kept my mouth quiet when they were going so well and let it just happen. I think I jinxed myself. It's lifting up, just not the backing, but it's lifting up the paper underneath as well. Come on, baby, that's better. Okay. Okay. PDG. Pretty darn good, in case you're wondering. Okay, now do I want to go? I think I'll go with this one because it's got the lovely sepia tone. Well, I haven't got any draped velvet curtains in there. I'm not going to put By the Light of the Moon in there at all. That doesn't make sense. Taken from the past is something I can use. Because you don't see these cameras anymore. Okay, what else have I got in here? For a moment taken from the past, that sounds nice. Now, for a moment, taken from the past. What else can we put in there? Anything or nothing? I think that might be it, because I'm not having anything that's going to stand out at me at the moment. I think that's it. I'm not going to waste any more of your time going through those last pages because it would be just, I think, a waste of time. So, taken from the past, for a moment taken from the past. And that is today's page. Let me just cover this one up. That's what we've been working on today. I do thank you very, very much for joining me for this. And I look forward to catching up with you in another video. I do have a couple of pages in one of my little notebooks that I'd love to share with you. We're getting overcast. I think we're going to get some rain today. But that is the lovely page that I've worked on with you today. And once again, I thank you for your subscribership, both new people and the longer lasting subscribers that have been with me for many, many moons. And I do thank you all very much for coming back to me and saying hello, leaving little comments for me to answer. I do read all of them. So I will catch up with you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.